This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
The final part of our interview with Joe Maddon includes an idea for a future event in Hazleton and a quarantine reading list. Hello everyone, and thank you for your time on this Thursday. I'm Ken Carr with your local information from SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. And we begin with a look at the latest COVID-19 case numbers from the State Department of Health. Luzerne County added 26 new cases and 7 deaths in Thursday's numbers. Schuylkill County and Carbon County had 3 new cases each, and Schuylkill County had 1 new death. 310 deaths were added to Pennsylvania's total today as the Department of Health works to reconcile data from various sources over the past several weeks. To date, 3,416 people have died from COVID-19 in the state. As Pennsylvania gets ready to reopen, Governor Tom Wolf wants to build a Commonwealth Civilian Coronavirus Corps. The Civilian Corps will help expand testing and contact tracing by working with public health agencies, community organizations, and nonprofits. They would also recruit and train some left unemployed by the pandemic to do contact tracing. Contact tracing is finding and informing people who have been exposed to those who have COVID-19 or are suspected of having the virus. Also, it was announced that eligible self-employed, independent contractors, gig workers, and others not normally eligible for regular unemployment compensation can start filing backdated claims on the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance website. Tonight, the final part of my interview with Los Angeles Angels manager and Hazleton native Joe Maddon. While reminiscing about Hazleton High School football, Maddon mentioned how important the Thanksgiving Day game with West Hazleton was and what it meant to the community. He says the area is missing that today and shared his idea for a basketball tournament. That tournament would honor Hazleton Area Sports Hall of Famer Fran Libinati, who's a former Hazleton High School athlete, basketball coach, and teacher.
Why would we want to put together a basketball tournament honoring Mr. Libinati as an example? There's so much stuff back there that needs to be, you take what happened in the past and you bring it to contemporary times and have everybody meet it in the middle so that people from the past, they're re-energized by this memory, and the kids that are there now learn a little bit about the history. Then you arrive at this juncture where both sides could agree on some things. I would love to see a Mr. Libinati basketball tournament. Somehow I got to figure that out.
I think it was my first time interviewing you, or our second. You gave me a book recommendation, and I wanted to show people I read despite my pronunciation on the news sometimes. You told me World Without End by Ken Follett. And the problem with that was I was like, all right, this is a big book. I didn't realize it was the sequel to Pillars of the Earth, so I first had to read that. What are you doing during quarantine? You have so many interests. You like reading, food, music. What have you been doing?
Tell you what I just saw. One of my other favorite books is on HBO as a movie on May 14th. I Know This Much Is True by Wally Lamb. I just happened to be looking at Twitter this morning and it just popped up. I can't remember the fella's name. Ruffalo, is that the right name?
Mark Ruffalo?
Yes, he's the guy that put it together. I Know This Much Is True. A little bit on the dark side, but when I read this by Wally Lamb, it was right up there with those 2 books that you have and Pat Conroy. Any of Pat Conroy's, but Beach Music was the first one that I loved by him. Prince of Tides, The River Is Wide, My Losing Season, everything that he wrote, I read. And right now what I'm reading sporadically is Travels with Charlie by Steinbeck. I never realized what a great writer he was until I did a gig at Orange County Rescue Mission in January where we did the homeless, or Thanksmas there. And one of the fellows living there told me that me riding around in my RV reminded him of Steinbeck and Travels with Charlie. I said, great, I'll buy that book. Thank you for the recommendation. Minutes later, he walked out with the book, his version, his copy. And I started to read it, and I'm still reading it, but God, he's good. Steinbeck is really, really good. So the way he writes, his style, his prose, it really resonates. I just think the guy's fascinating. So, and furthermore, he grew up in Salinas, where I played 2 summers. So when he talks about that area out there, it's weird, man. You do this thing called living long enough, you could really connect some dots.
We've connected the dots and put all of our recent Joe Maddon segments into one video you can watch at SSPTV.com and on the SSPTV YouTube page. Now you watch the weather forecast while I try to find some of those books Joe mentioned to add to my reading list.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
It's going to be a cool Mother's Day weekend. Here's our forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight, a 30% chance of showers, mainly before midnight, mostly cloudy, low of 35 degrees. Friday, 90% chance of rain, mainly after 1 p.m., high of 48 degrees. And then on Friday night, 80% chance of rain, and then rain and snow showers, low of 27 degrees. New snow accumulation of around an inch possible. Then on Saturday, 30% chance of snow showers, mainly after 8 a.m., partly sunny, high of 37. Wind gusts as high as 32 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low of 31 degrees. On Sunday, it's partly sunny with a high of 49. Sunday night, 30% chance of rain showers, maybe some snow showers as well, mostly cloudy, low of 36 degrees. Monday, 40% chance of rain and snow showers, mostly cloudy, high of 48 degrees. And Monday night, mostly cloudy with a low of 33 degrees.
That was a peek into the elk cam of the Pennsylvania Game Commission. I'm Kent Jackson, and today on Outdoor Exploring, we'll explore from indoors using the computer. Virtual trips into nature are one antidote for cabin fever while we're cooped up during the COVID-19 pandemic. Besides looking at Pennsylvania elk, the Commission has cams that show a bear den, eagle's nest, and other wildlife. Want to travel farther afield? Let's take a virtual safari.
Oh, I'm so lucky today because 3 of these elephants have looked me straight into the eye, and it's just wonderful.
Back in Pennsylvania, Carol Hillstad leads a virtual hike along the Cresco Heights.
The Broadhead Watershed Association is all about protecting and preserving the pure water that we have.
Go to All About Birds, which lives up to its name and has video, audio, and photographs. Or check with local explorer Frank Skakowski, a guest of our show, who travels and dazzles with his photograph.
Coming up next, a nurse from Pennsylvania tells us why she chose to head to the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic in New York City. An online fundraising initiative is coming your way at skookalgives.com. The event will take place for 24 hours starting on May 14th. Right now, you can go to the website to learn more about the initiative and the nonprofit organizations it hopes to help. And that's tonight's Talk of the Town. SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of the following. Gabe E. Buddha, 61 of Freeland. Services are private. The McNulty Funeral Home in Freeland is handling arrangements. Dorothy E. Keck Albertson, 83, formerly of Hazleton. To send condolences, go to dignitymemorial.com and search for her name. And George J. Hendershed. Arrangements will be announced by the McHugh-Wilczek Funeral Home in Freeland. Today's social news has been brought to you by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory. For information, call 570-788-0977 or go to harmonfuneral.com.